You're watching Better.tv.
Joshua Bell has enchanted audiences around the world like no other violinist in his generation. His stunning performances take your breath away. He's worked on many soundtracks, including The Red Violin, which won the Oscar for Best Original Score. We sat down with Bell to talk about his passion for music and the new recording critics are raving about, Vivaldi, The Four Seasons.
Music for me, it's the most important thing in my life, and I do love bringing music to people that don't normally get to see it, because I had such a fortunate experience to have parents that started me on the violin when I was 4, and I see what it does for young people.
Joshua Bell has changed the lives of young people, working with the Education Through Music program, visiting schools in Harlem and places where kids have never heard of Bach or Stradivarius.
They're all carrying around their violins. They each get one, and they have this self-esteem that comes from that. They work together, they play together. It exercises their mathematical skills and their artistic skills.
And Joshua Bell's artistic skills have been captivating audiences for 2 decades. Now he's doing it with his new recording of Vivaldi, The Four Seasons.
Vivaldi, Four Seasons is one of the most recorded works in the repertoire. It's the most beloved work. But I've developed such a personal relationship with it that I finally felt ready. I want to put mine down on disc. And it takes a certain ego, I think, to to do something like that. To be a musician at all, to get up on stage and say, everybody, this is the way this piece is. You can't get up there and think, well, it can be done a million different ways and here's just one version. You have to own it and feel like this is the way, what the piece means.
He worked with the acclaimed Academy of St. Martin in the Fields.
They look to me as the conductor leader, and I enjoy that. I've been doing that a lot with lots of repertoire. I've done Beethoven symphonies without a conductor leading from the violin. Maybe because I'm a control freak, I can finally rehearse the piece exactly the way I want and go into greater detail than deferring to a conductor or middleman, you might say. I think I'm gradually becoming a conductor myself, and that's what I'm aiming for eventually.
He is a perfectionist when it comes to his music.
I was happy to put it down on disc finally, and as my legacy for my grandchildren eventually, and a year from now I'll say I wish I hadn't have done it. I wish I had waited one more year because you change, your ideas change as you get older and you want to redo it, but that's the way it is.
Sometimes the E string doesn't have enough.
It does sound a little flat.
A little flat, I know.
His violin is his voice.
The thing is my constant companion, and finding a great instrument that suits me, and it's a quest that we all go through as musicians. This is now my 3rd Stradivarius I've owned, never more than one at a time, but it's like buying real estate, but except more expensive. I went into a violin shop and was going to buy some strings or something like that, and they said, oh, you should just play a couple notes on this Stradivarius that's coming through. It's on its way to Germany. Some businessman wants to buy it, and I played 2 notes on it and said, oh my God, you're not letting this out of the shop. This is my violin, which is not the way to buy a violin, by the way. My bargaining power went right out the window. But I just fell in love with it and played that very same night at the Royal Albert Hall for 8,000 people on this violin. And it's got a great history. It was the Strad, as I call it, was made in 1713, right around the time that the Vivaldi Four Seasons was written. It's kind of fun to think about when I play the piece.
And like the journey the Four Seasons takes us on, the violin has made its own journey.
It vanished. It was a big mystery for 50 years. But eventually, the thief, as a deathbed confession, admitted that he had it for 50 years, playing gigs in cafes and things like that. And finally, it was given back to the world in a way. And I, 20 years later, I acquired it.
With it, he captures our imagination, playing it with a poetic sensibility rarely heard.
I think the aim as an interpreter is not to have people come away saying, oh, that guy's a great violinist or whatever, because the real achievement is the piece of music and the Four Seasons. If someone comes away saying, wow, that piece moved me, and I got goosebumps, during that section, and that's what it's all about, the goosebumps.
How can you not love Joshua Bell's music even more now after meeting him? Listen for Bell's latest undertaking on the soundtrack for the movie Defiance. He'll also be touring the U.S. this spring. His new